So now we need something to generate the score. Now let's deal with the score counter. I'm going to double click it here and change its size to 50 pixels wide by 100 pixels high, and I'll give it a light green color. And I'm going to use one of those move behaviors that I used on the bars. So I went into the bar here. I'm just copying. I'm highlighting the move to behavior, copying, going back into the score counter. But I want it to be conditional on whether the game over is false or not. So I'll click create rule, attribute, game over is false. And if the game over is false, in other words, if the game is still running, execute the following. And it's the same speed and positioning as the two white bars, so it should sync up perfectly with those. So I've got the movement on it, but I still need to spawn it. And the other thing I want to do too is I actually want to go in and destroy it if the little player comes into contact with it. So I guess I could do that while I'm here. I'll create another rule. And actor receives event overlaps or collides with player, and we'll just choose destroy. So if the player connects to the green, it pops away, and ultimately you'll get a point for that. Now let's go back here to the spawner and generate that green bar. So I can copy one of these and just change a few things. So option, click and drag. Actor, change it to score counter. And the positioning, we're okay on the X, but on the Y, we don't want it to be behind one of the white bars, so I'm going to offset it by 200 here. So I'll say minus 200, and you'll just have to trust me that the math works right now. And I just check that and say OK. And we'll save that, and we'll give that a try. So I should see the green bar appearing in between the white bars. There it is. And if I can do it, I'll try to connect it with my player. Okay, I did die. Okay, so that was pretty close, but I noticed that the little green bar stayed still while the white bars moved. I think I actually omitted a certain feature in the bottom and the top bar. If you notice in my score counter, it is based on the game over being false. So let's go back and actually add that feature into the two bars. So I'll just create a rule, attribute, game over is false, and I'll drag the move to inside of there as the behavior. And we'll just go back and we'll do the same thing for the top bar. So we'll create a rule, attribute, game over is false, and the move will move on that condition. So let's just go back here and we'll give that another try. Maybe I'll save it first and we'll give that a try. And here we go, play again. And as soon as they come across, I'll hit the white bar on purpose and we'll see what happens with the green part. Okay, so I got through that one. And if I hit the white bar, boom. So that's working now. Now they don't move out of sync with each other. So just go back to the bottom bar and wrap that move inside of a rule where it's the attribute game over is false. That's the condition for both of these. Game over is false for that move to function. Okay, now the other thing I didn't really like in the game is that it took a long time for that first set of bars to come across. So I'm going to add another set of bars that aren't based on the timer. Let's go back into our spawner. And you see how these are all inside of the timer. I'm just going to shift click and copy all of these. And I'll hold my option key down and I'll just drag them down here. So now I have a set that's going to appear immediately. It's not going to wait for first 6 seconds to pass, but this is a one time only. So then after this one passes, these other ones will happen at every 6-second interval. Let's just save that as well, and we'll give that a try. So the bars should appear sooner, and there they do. That first bar is that extra set that I just put out. So let's see if I can get through this. Oh, I'm just going to stop this, and we'll go back here. Now let's attribute a score to that now once we get through the green part, and then I'll show you how you can actually adjust the difficulty level to this, basically changing the gravity and changing the height of the jump. But first we'll attribute a score. So we'll go over to the player. And we'll add a new rule. If actor overlaps or collides with actor type score counter, we'll change the attribute game score to game score plus 1. So there's score and then plus 1. So it'll add 1 to itself every time. Now let's give that a try. If I can get through it. If I can't, I will adjust the level of difficulty. This one's going to be hard. Okay, let me go back and actually change that difficulty. We'll go back into the jump feature, and under move to, instead of going 30 pixels high, I'm just going to go 10. Click OK. And for the gravity, I'll change that gravity down to 50 maybe. Let's see how that works for me. You can see it's a lot easier. And you can see my score. I got 1. Oh, well, I got 2. I'll try it once more. And again, I can even make it even easier if I wanted to. So let's go back, and I'll make another adjustment to the move to, and I'll just try plus 5. I noticed the gravity wasn't my issue as much as the jumping. Last time here. Yeah, this should be pretty easy to get through now. Too easy, but it just demonstrates that you can make adjustments like that if you want to. So in essence, that's the Flappy Birds game with a score keeper. And if we go down and let it die, 2 seconds later, we see our score. Play again. Oh, looks like we need to reset our score actually on the play again. So let's do that. We'll go over to the game over. And we'll attach the change attribute right inside of here. So change game score to 0. Click OK. So let's give that a try. Maybe I'll save it here. So the idea here is that I'm going to try to accumulate at least 1 point. Actually, that's even too hard to get up there now. But we'll die and we'll see our score. And when I hit play again, it does come back to 0. So I'd like you to build one of these. We will move on to a slightly more advanced version of this in another tutorial where we'll add that power up feature. But this is your Flappy Birds lesson, and I'd like you to build one of these for me now.